What's cracking, guys? This is going to be a little bit of different format right now because, as I said last week, I'm not actually at home base right now, so we're going to do things a little different, but I'm not going to disappoint. We're here yet again, Monday night. Let's get rolling. What's cracking, guys? Welcome back to yet again another episode of the Honda Recap. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, and that bell so you're notified every Monday night when this thing airs. We're going on the fourth week now at the new time slot, which is 6 p.m. West Coast time. That brings it to about 8 p.m. out here on the East Coast. And I say out here because I am currently right now on the East Coast, still sitting down, making this go down on my time, so that way we can all sit down on a Monday night and have fun, talk about Hondas, and just enjoy the community here that is the Honda YouTube community. That's right, that's what we're about to go over right now. But I wanted to go over last week's topic just a little bit right now, and that is how many project cars is too many project cars. And a lot of people out there basically said 1 or 2 cars is basically tops because you're going to spend all of your money spread out across, and you're not truly going to be able to make one car as great as you actually want it to be. And I totally agree with that, even though I am actually not listening to myself personally, as I have quite a few cars, quote unquote, air quote unquote, project cars going on right now in my life. But I obviously have the Del Sol, my EF Hatch, and my Daily right now. But it doesn't mean that I don't want to also acquire other cars. I just have to learn and tell myself, you know what, you can't invest any money in them right now. So maybe don't. Maybe focus on one. You got to at least make your main character look kind of tight, because that's kind of what's representing you. But anyways, guys, like I've been saying, since I am here on the East Coast, I wanted to bring out a different topic right now, which is kind of controversial, and I'd really like to know what you guys think in the comments below. And that is West Coast cars versus East Coast cars. And I know it's a very touchy subject, and I'm going to step and I'm going to play on it very, very nicely. I'm not going to go any certain direction on this. I'd really like to know what you guys think. Being born in the West Coast, born and bred, I've seen the West Coast Honda scene kind of grow for a very, very long time. And I will say that since California and on the West Coast, we actually have a lot more restrictions as far as emissions and what you can and can't do to your car and drive legally on the street. It makes it slightly more, I guess I would say, hardcore, because you have to be willing to do things to your car and drive around on the street. Many years ago, maybe in the early to mid 2000s, there was a lot more Turbo Integras that were just down, Turbo Integras or Civics or anything like that, that were down to just race anything on the street. You would have so much fun. Street racing was actually a very, very huge thing going on, obviously in Southern California, Northern California, and everywhere else on the West Coast. But I am speaking to you personally from California because that is where I'm from. But like I said, the more we're into right now, it's 2020. Those numbers are slowly dwindling. And if you follow Sticky Dill Joe's channels, you will see showing you all of the cars here on the West Coast from Weekfest or any other shows out there right now in California. Some of these cars are the cleanest cars you just will ever see. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a fanboy, obviously, but you do admit that, you know, anywhere in the States, California does seem to have some of the most cleanest cars out there. But that's not to say that the East Coast isn't right there with them. I believe just the people are a little bit different. The priorities are a little different. I think the roads out here are a little more, you know, tough, and they're not really as great as they are on the West Coast. But you know, the West Coast doesn't have the best roads either, but a lot of the cars on the East Coast look driven. Not bad, but driven. A lot of these cars are mean and they're super fast. I'm going to give it to the East Coast guys out here. Drag racing is a huge proponent of how they build their cars out here on the East Coast, at least from my opinion. You see the cars out here, they look like they've been through a lot, but they're put together, they look sick, and they drive. And these guys aren't playing when it comes to power. I'll give them that right now. So I do give a lot of props to the East Coast guys out here because they don't have that strict emission laws. They don't even have too many laws that would actually affect you from having, like, you know, up pipes out of the hood, superchargers, turbos, or anything like that that we deal with here on the West Coast. So with that said, it's really a different dynamic when they're building a car, because they're just building for pure function, but they have the ability to build for function and speed right out of the bat. And I got to tell you guys, I super respect that right now. And on the West Coast, a lot of us build clean and we also street legal. So it actually was really interesting to actually watch a lot of the cars being built to how fast you could go to suddenly how OEM you can go. And now we've kind of transcended into OEM plus, because you want it to be as legal as possible, but also as clean as you could possibly get. But I will also give some more props out there to the guys out there on the West Coast that just don't care about emissions and don't care about getting caught and still building incredibly fast cars and driving them. You do notice when you go to these hot import nights or Week Fest or any other shows like that, you see cars just come out of the woodwork that you've never seen before ever. But you know what? It's because they're trying to keep them for as long as possible. And how do you do that? You just don't drive them as often as you'd really want to drive them. But I'm really happy that a lot of these West Coast cars are coming out of everywhere. So with that said, guys, what do you guys think? East Coast cars versus West Coast cars. Where do you guys stand? And I know if you're out here on the East Coast, you'll probably rep your East Coast, and same for the West Coast. But I know both you guys actually probably enjoy both the car cultures, and I'd really love to see both of these come together. I will admit, though, that the West Coast probably has a little bit more circuit racing when it comes to that type of car. Obviously, drag racing, West and East Coast, there's huge battles across the country for that. But as far as track building, I would say the East Coast track is more for drag racing, and West Coast track sort of falls into a lot more circuit racing, although there is a lot of drag racing out here. Midwest, you guys have some actual circuit tracks out there as well. West Coast, at least in California, we have 3 or 4 some of the best circuit tracks, just not that far from just the San Francisco Bay Area. East Coast, not so many circuit racing tracks, but a lot of drag racing tracks, so that's really cool. And that's what I think actually helps divide the power to looks as far as East Coast to West Coast. But not to push any buttons and not to actually throw any jabs, but I really want to know. Let me know in the premiere right now if you guys are watching East Coast or West Coast cars. What do you guys think? Do you like both? And tell me why. And I'd really like to know. I'd really like to start this discussion right now in the comments below. So take a second, even if it's large, maybe in depth. I really want to know what your opinion is. And you know what? Be honest, guys. I know that there's egos out there, and I know there's a lot of people out there that are very proud of where they come from. So like I said, no disrespect. I just really want to know what you guys feel. All right, guys, with that said, I want to kick off what we do right here Monday nights, and that's go over what's been happening this week on YouTube. And I'm going to start this out with a couple new channels that we haven't really talked about, but then slowly get into stuff that we have talked about. And I'm going to start this out with Babb's Honda Repair. This guy, super cool, has a K24 A2 all-wheel drive turbo EG. Super mouthful, but super awesome, cool channel. Very new, starting out right now. You really get to see the motor actually in the car, taken apart. And in the latest video, he's actually taking everything out to repaint the bay, getting it looking exactly kind of how he wants it. There's some weird stuff on how the brake lines are kind of ran through the dashboard, but he's fixing all of those things and trying to make it as great as possible. I'm really excited to see this guy get his car back together because there's not too many Ford K24 all-wheel drive turbo EGs out there in the world, and I'd really love to actually follow this guy, give him a little bit more subscriber base, and maybe encourage him to pump out a lot more content. Following that, we got RS Future. If you guys been following VTech Club or that 911, this guy has a K Series NSX that is turbo. He's a really cool guy, and he started RS Future as a side thing, making aerodynamic things for different cars. He actually has one of these wings on his NSX right now. He started a different Instagram, so definitely check that out, RS Future. And he started a YouTube channel to kind of document his progression and a lot of VTech Club racing and the NSX. So definitely give these guys a subscribe, follow him. If you guys are into VTech Club, he's got a lot of racing going on right here. And also, if you love turbo K-Series NSXs, because there isn't that many, and you like purple NSXs, this is checking a lot of boxes for me, guys. Obviously, hope you guys figured that out. Definitely check these guys out. And by these guys, I literally mean I think it's one guy doing most of the work, but he's got a lot of friends, and they each have very nice cars. Following that, we got the old favorite Ekreme Daily Drivers, obviously with a 3rd gen Prelude B21 build going on right now. He got some sick Downstar hardware to put a lot of the mounts back into the engine so that he can get the engine back in the Prelude that he just had painted right now. Brandon's putting in tons of work from the wiring harness, painting the bay, getting the engine looking just literally beautiful. If you guys haven't been watching this video, you definitely want to check him out because he's putting so much effort into this engine, so much effort into this car. It's literally one of the coolest 3rd gens I've seen, mainly because I don't see too many, so I'm really excited for this one. Following that, we got Refine Movement. These guys did a lot of work in the past, building a D-Series EG, taking it to the track. They kind of took a bit of hiatus, but like I said last week, they are back, and they haven't stopped making new content. As you guys can see right now, they're doing a lot of stuff to help pull the weight out of the car. They pulled the dashboard out, and they did a lot of other things to kind of reduce weight and get the car ready for a track build. I believe the head of the car is off right now, so with that said, they went into the car to keep progress going. I'm excited for you guys. I'm really happy that you're back. Keep pumping this content out. After that, we got RevHigh DriveHappy. This is another East Coast guy that I'm actually hoping to really meet up with while I'm here, and he's actually putting an AEM fuel rail into his car and getting a lot of other things buttoned up on this Integra. The last thing we talked about was him putting a hybrid racing B&D shifter in his car. Now he's doing a little bit more engine work, and I'm really excited for this Integra. It's really track inspired, and I'm really excited about that because I like gutted cars and I like track focused built cars. I really enjoy circuit racing, and this car looks something that I would love to see at the track. Next up, we got Ekreme Supreme with a K-Series EK. This guy has been building for quite some time, and I'm excited for this because he actually wants to get this K-Series barred in the state of California, which does take a lot of work, finesse, and getting everything properly built. And even following this along with this guy, he has many things he had to do to this car to actually make it bar legal. I know Tommy Law out there right now is trying to get that B16 bar legal in the EK, and like I said, to what I was talking about really earlier, guys, these are the things the West Coast guys have to deal with. East Coast guys kind of laugh at that, ha ha ha. I would too, because it sucks, but these are the games we play, which kind of adds to the, I guess, hardcore points that the West Coast guys just have to deal with, because if you want to be in this Honda scene and do some crazy stuff to your car, there's just loopholes you have to play in. So props to you guys that keep pushing it, keep trying to make these cars as street legal as possible. Definitely check out Ekreme Supreme if you're interested in EK content. I'm really excited for this one as well. Following that, we got Bodevision finally working on the black EG he's had out there at the shop for quite some time. Another circuit built car. We got a PCI wing, finally getting it painted, and a lot of other goodies are going into this EG. Bodevision obviously has been doing a lot of car and paint and body work for a lot of other YouTubers out here, so it's really cool to see him actually work on a car that's his. I think this car is actually one of his buddies, but it's cool to see that it's in the little family loop that he has right there, and I'm excited for this to finally get the kickoff right here. PCI wing, charge speed fenders, and a bunch more goodies on the way. Following that, we got Chris Sadowski, part 4 or 5 of the Del Sol turbo build, finally getting together everything possible to get this thing on the dyno, getting it ready. I'm really excited to see this because he's finally driving the car, enjoying it, getting some boost in. Once he gets to the dyno, he'll be able to actually go out there and have a lot more safe fun in the Del Sol, and you know what? I never miss any turbo Del Sol content. After that, we got SP Tuning, Pablo and the boys out there in Florida at H-Day. He has 2 videos kind of showing you, breaking down a lot of the races that were at H-Day. Really bummed because I made it all the way out here to the East Coast, literally the day after H-Day finally ended, so maybe next year when I come out here, I can plan it a little bit earlier so that I can actually make it to H-Day and see a lot of you guys that actually make it out year to year. But like I said, check out SP Tuning if you want to see a lot of the racing stuff and times that were there at Maryland at MIR. I'm really excited for it. Really great content, and I believe also the official Nice One guys are going to release a video very soon, which I'm also very excited about. Following that, last but not least, we got K-Power Production, who's finally been working on his car. He's been doing a lot of side hustles, been doing a lot of other work that isn't K-Power Production, working on his car, but he's finally doing it. Preston is getting his Integra wrapped, and I believe the new reveal is about to come out very soon. So if you guys haven't checked that out, definitely head over to K-Power Production right now. Check out the color reveal for his Integra. I'm really excited because he's been building up a little side hustle for himself, building up K-Power also, but to finally see him put all of that effort into his own car is really cool, man. I'm really excited for you, and this car looks amazing. All right, guys, with that said, thanks for tuning in for this episode of the Honda Recap. Make sure you hit subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and that bell so you're notified every Monday night at 8 o'clock when this thing airs. Yet again, shout out to our sponsors, DemC Corp. Hit them up on Instagram at DemC Corp _. These guys are bringing you some really awesome products if you guys haven't seen already, and I know you guys are sitting there, so definitely check that out. The all-wheel drive billet bell housing, the FK8 parts that are coming out right now, dual oil coolers. This is crazy, right? So definitely check them out right now. InvictusJP bringing you JDM bronze glass for EF and EG Civics, and quite a few more things coming in the pipeline right now. And always hit up Thehondavlogs.com/shop. Pick yourself up a shirt, a hoodie, a sticker, or anything else you guys want to support the channel. I appreciate all of you who have already, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.